Hello, everyone. Welcome to something a little bit different from the Uberrock podcast. We're going to have a chat about the upcoming festival season. And I'm joined tonight by Jase, who currently lives in Holland and goes to a lot of the European festivals. So, hi, Jase, how are you?
Hello, I'm not too bad. Just getting everything ready and packing for my brief trip to London tomorrow. Well, Hatfield for Slamdunk. So I'm good. I hope you're all right as well.
Yeah, I'm vertical and still breathing, mate. That's all you can ask at my age. So, this festival you're going to talk about is one you went to last weekend?
Yeah. So there's a town just north of Amsterdam called Alkmaar, or Alkmaar if you want to be British with the pronunciation, for a sort of a DIY festival called Hemelvaartse Herre. Herre is a bit more of a overarching thing. So they seem to be like I guess like a local promoter in the area. So they put on like a lot of these festivals over the course of the year. And this one, Hemelvaartse, basically means ascension. It's a public holiday. I'm guessing it's to do with Jesus, if I'm honest, but I don't really
Well,
know.
Ascension Day is usually around that time in May, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know if the UK celebrates it or not, but I know at least I get a day off. So
I only know about it because of the Von Hertzen brothers.
okay, so I wonder if it's a European thing. I don't
Looks
know.
like.
But yeah, that was the well, it's not really the first festival of the year for me. I've already been to one, but that was in February, so it doesn't really count as part of the summer
Mm-hmm.
one. But these guys generally tend to focus a lot more on like the heavier sort of thing. Hetty this particular time was focused like a lot on like a lot of tech death. There was a lot of grindcore throughout the day, but my main draws were the main one honestly was a Canadian metalcore band called Opal in Sky. Um, they are a bit of a viral sort of band, mostly well known for their Instagram based shenanigans. But I mean, the music's generally good as well. So I bought a ticket like based on that. But I also got to see the lovely lads in Conjurer. So a bit of UK representation there as well. And the day was opened up by a band called Big Moth, who they're like sort of part of this growing prog and like metal scene in the Netherlands at the moment. So Big Moth themselves, like the way I would describe them in my head was, what was it? It's like Tesseract, but with a jazz fusion guitarist.
Different.
Yeah, so they had like a lot of like the really nice like sort of bouncy rhythms, unusual time signatures, all sorts of stuff, mixed vocals with some very very tasty guitar licks as well. And the rest of the day was just filled in with all sorts of horrifically heavy, kind of sort of stuff for the whole day.
Mm.
And yeah, it was just fueled by beer and a constant supply of horrific Dutch snacks because the catering was basically like a fabo, if you're aware of what one of those is. So the Dutch have got this very big culture surrounding a thing that they call they basically all call them snacks. I think the Dutch word is hapjes, so stuff like croquette, bitterballen, and it's all sorts of deep fried stuff. So my entire day was eating constantly these things called broodje mexicanos, which is like the Mexicano. It's like I don't know what type of meat it is. It's slightly spiced. It looks like a McRib in a bun.
Like a burrito.
No, not even like a burrito. It was just like it's like a slab of slightly spongy, some sort of mystery meat, and essentially just spent the whole day walking around farting because it did not agree with me at all.
Dear.
So it was just like bouncing back and forth between the bar and the snack bar while watching all manner of gruesome bands, basically.
So, do you normally like this genre of music?
I go for a lot of stuff, yeah. Like I wouldn't say grindcore is like really my sort of thing. I've got a bit of more of an appreciation for it the older I get. I used to hate slam when I lived in Manchester, but there's a couple of bands where I'm like, that just sounds like dumb riffs, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll watch that. But yeah, I like on the whole, the lineup probably isn't really that closely aligned with my taste, but the bands that I wanted to see were enough to sort of justify going. But I wasn't able to make the second day. I bought a full both day ticket as well.
I did notice that it was reasonably cheap as well.
I think the 2 day ticket was like €65 or something like that. Well, the day only ticket was 45, and I was like, I might as well. But unfortunately,
The
the gods
food did for
decided.
you.
No. I actually couldn't make it to Alkmaar the day after because the gods decided to have a collision on the track. No idea what exactly. The Dutch train service doesn't really tell you what, but it was enough to cut off the actual train link to Alkmaar, and you can't really get there via bus. So, yeah, I got a cool wristband out of it though.
Well, the question is, would you do it again next year?
Depends on the lineup. Very heavily depends on the lineup. There's quite a lot of these like cool little like all day events and like some semi weekend events that are all around the country, and they're very frequent. One of the one that pops into my head is one called Baruch Open Air or Submit Fest, and they're generally in Rotterdam. Normally hosted at a venue called Baruch or a field near it. But yeah, the one thing that really stands out to me though, especially when I was at this festival, is uh, the Dutch really care about their local scene. Like most of the people there had like t-shirts and battle jackets on, and none of them were like, well, barring a few, but most of them were small local bands I've seen over the years and stuff. Like they absolutely care about supporting the Dutch scene, and it's pretty awesome to see, if I'm honest.
Well, I wish we had some of that in the UK for the grassroots venues, but there we
I
are.
wouldn't say it's complete. I mean, Burn It Down's doing quite well for itself. There's No Play in Liverpool. There's that one in Nottingham. Oh, what's it called? But there's a lot of these like small sort of things. But I would say the UK scene is probably filled a little bit more with more widely recognisable bands, I guess.
I
So
mean, there is the upcoming music venue trust thing in the UK as well, isn't there?
mhm.
Over what would have been Glastonbury weekend, the Everywhere at Once thing, which is supplying funding for a lot of grassroots venues to have music on over that weekend. So
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that the UK as like fundamentally doesn't really support its arts sector much,
hmm.
which is very different over here because the government, local municipalities, they do give quite a lot of support to a lot of these venues. Some of them have got like membership fees that you have to pay with a ticket, but you can get like yearly, monthly subscriptions and stuff, which I do for a couple of venues. But it manifests in weird ways sometimes because there's a bar, well, not bar, it's a music venue in Amsterdam called Paradiso.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the cheapest pint of beer I've probably seen in the whole city, and it's I think it's Heineken, so it's like a half liter, but it's like €7.40. Almost everywhere else in Amsterdam, it's like €8 and above.
So, there's a question for you, maybe a bit off the wall. I mean, you've been in Holland now for about 2 years,
It's coming to 3 now.
is it?
Yeah.
So, have you noticed a huge change in the way that you go to see a lot of these music events? Do you go to many more than you did
I
previously?
go a lot more, yeah. I go a lot more because it's just so easy to get around in this country.
Mm.
I don't drive, but it's literally not stopped me getting to any show, barring maybe one, which was for Spock's Beard earlier this year. And the only reason is because they were playing in a town called Uden, which is literally in the middle of nowhere with, I don't think it's even got a bus connection. So I was like, I'm guessing I'm not going to that show then. Some venues are harder to get to than others. Uber can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. It's not the worst. Getting back from it, you can sometimes get held up at a connection point for about half an hour sometimes. There was one time where like it was a weekday and I was supposed to be in the office the next day and I didn't get home until like 2:30. That sucked because it was like a real sporadic bunch of connections, like here to here to here to here to here to here. And I dragged myself into my bed and I didn't wake up until 10 o'clock in the morning the next day because I just couldn't. No time to sleep.
So the public transport over there makes it a lot easier to get around.
Yeah. The Dutch will complain endlessly about the Dutch railways, Nederlandse Spoorweg. But when I come back to the UK, I'm like, oh no, I've got to deal with Northern Rail.
Yeah. Well, you're saying that. I mean, talking about railway, you've got a bank holiday weekend coming up. You've got the football playoffs in London for the championship.
Is that this
And
weekend?
yeah, and all the trains are on strike.
No.
Yeah. Out of London, yeah.
I'm going to have to look into that because I need to get from King's Cross to St Albans. Shit.
Just to double check that. Well, I just thought I'd mention, as you said, the support.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. So, because leading into the next thing, I've got a slam dunk this weekend. That might make things a bit more difficult, and I might have to spend 50 quid in an Uber.
Yeah.
No.
So sorry to drop some on you, as they say.
Yeah.
But
I think there might be buses.
While you're talking about it,
mm-hmm.
and you go in this weekend, do you want to give us an insight into what you're looking forward to there?
It's 90% the heavy stuff. Slam Dunk has traditionally always been a pop punk festival. Well, pop punk adjacent, I guess. But yeah, it's gone really, really, really heavy this year. And Slam Dunk's advertising on Instagram has been quite interesting this year because they have really, really heavily laboured the heavy stuff. The alternate headliner, for example, is Knock Loose. I personally don't like them. They're not my thing. So I'm going to go see Good Charlotte. But a lot of the other sort of heavier bands like Bury Tomorrow, I'm going to be there for. Malevolence, maybe Guilt Trip. I'm not going to go anywhere near the pit because it'll be full of 18-year-olds kicking the hell out of each other, and I don't want to go anywhere near that. I'm in mosh pit retirement. I have been since my mid-30s. I'm too old for that shite.
It's not something I ever got involved in, thankfully.
I did love it back in the day, but like now I'm like I would rather prop the bar up. I'm 39 now. I turn 40 next year, and I am starting to feel it in my bones a bit where I'm just like, I don't have the energy to keep up with this.
No, it's not my thing at all, I have to say. So, are you going to write the review of both these events?
No. So Heady for me was basically just an excuse to go drink a lot of beer and listen to some growly metal. For this weekend with Slam Dunk, nah. I'm going there purely for my own enjoyment this time. I'm going to drink way too much beer. I'm going to spend most of the time at least having a little boogie. I'm not going to get in the pit, but I'm going to have a bit of a dance at the end. And that'll probably be enough because it's going to be way too warm.
Top order.
Yeah, I mean, I am actually checking the trains while we're actually having this chat at the moment. I might be okay, but it looks like they're cancelling every alternate one.
That's not quite so bad then.
No, but it is unlimited availability, so I might actually have to buy my ticket tonight.
Yeah. Well, like I said, at least forewarned is forearmed, as they say.
Yeah, I think it looks like Thames Link is okay, as far as I can tell. But yeah, so the plan is tomorrow I'll be leaving Amsterdam, flying into London Heathrow about 7ish. I've got to get myself propped up, meet up with a few people, have some beers, and then the next day get straight over to London King's Cross and then go to St Albans, which is where I'm staying, and then I'll be jetting across to Hatfield in a taxi. I've not done Slam Dunk for about 3 years. I think the last time I did it is just before I moved away. For me personally, the value for money for what I'm actually getting out of that day, it's quite something. I'm also technically kind of using it to taper some of the bands I want to see next month, Grasspop and Jarrett on Air. So I'm kind of like getting my fill of say Bury Tomorrow because I won't need to go see them at Grasspop and I can see something else. So I'm kind of planning my itinerary with meticulous care.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Did you enjoy the Alkmaar weekend or day?
Yeah. I think that the stage rigging, not the safest I've ever seen. I'm not really sure how the health and safety would pass a bunch of lighting riggings on plastic boxes. But I would definitely go back. I would hopefully be able to sort of convince some other people to come with me this time because I was just there on my own. Mm-hmm. I wanted to go. But everyone else was like, busy. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go drink a bunch of beer. I've overdone it a little bit too much on the quite high strength IPAs earlier on in the day, which resulted in me dozing off side when I was chilling out a bit. I just thought, I'm just going to get comfortable in this beanbag and browse my phone. And I just went and I fell asleep for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was roused from my sleep by the soothing, calming tones of conjurers screaming. So I decided, I better go get a beer and watch them.
Did you enjoy them?
Yeah, Conjurer great.
I have to take your word for that.
Anyone who's into death metal that's got like a bit of a proggy techie side, everyone should know who Conjurer are, and everyone should listen to them. They are absolutely ridiculous. It did amuse me that they were selling a particular merch T-shirt, and I asked Brady, I was like, "Do you think the Dutch are going to get that?" They've got a self-deprecating T-shirt where it's got a tub of "I can't believe it's not butter," except it says "I can't believe it's not Baroness," right? Which is extremely self-deprecating to them, but it's a very British specific in joke. And I was just like, I don't think anyone in the Netherlands is going to actually understand what that actually is on about.
Excuse me, I didn't want to cough in your ear.
That's all right.
So, well, thanks for your time. It's been brilliant. It's lovely talking to you as always. And catch up with you in a couple of weeks for the next ones for Jera.
Jera and Grasspop.
And Grasspop.
Two big ones.
Are we going to catch you before or after?
We will do that before because I will be brain mush for about a week afterwards. But Jera on Air, I am covering on behalf of Uberrock. There are some interviews that I am hoping to catch, and I'm going to have to batter the publicists for these particular bands, probably starting now. And Grasspop will be the biggest festival I've been to in quite a while. The last one I went to that was that size was Download Festival in 2023. So let's see how the Europeans do a festival of that size.
Be interesting.
Yes.
So enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you sometime in the next week or so to sort out the previews of Jera and Grasspop.
Absolutely. I hope you have a great weekend as well, David.
Well, I can say I have a quiet weekend in the sun. Make sure you get the Factor 50 out because it's going to be warm around the London area. It's be 30 plus.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dip into the nearest boots.
Yeah, because it's going to be a cracking weekend, which is great because it's been pants up till now.
Yeah, well, apparently it's just going to get warmer and warmer because apparently I think next Friday said it's going to clock in about 35 or something in Amsterdam, and I'm like, that is insane. I think every single terrace bar in the entirety of Amsterdam is going to be absolutely rammed. But I'm not going to be there because I'm going to go see Pliny. I'm going to go see Pliny over in Harlem, and I'm going to see a very small Australian man play some of the tastiest licks you've ever heard in your life. So, anyway.
Do take care, Jace. Enjoy your weekend.
You as well, mate. Thanks very much.
Mate. Ta-da.